Hey. I want to take this time and welcome you guys to a new revised moment of key moments. Yes, I have missed you guys. It's been a long time since I have dropped a video. It used to be on the platform called Keys Table Talk, but since I'm going through a new season, a new transition in life, I said, let's change the name to Key Moments, because we all go through those times in our lives where things happen and you have that key moment, like that aha moment, like get you there. So this channel is used to build one another up, to edify one another, to build each other up so we can keep it moving, keep it going. Life is too short to be being negative. We need a lot of positivity. There's a lot of negativity already going on in the world. So I was discussing with a good friend of mine. He's going to remain anonymous, but we were talking about how the pandemic has pretty much shut our churches down, or shut the buildings down. A lot of pastors are online, streaming online, doing virtually services, and so the buildings are closed. And I used to hear people say when this pandemic first started that when the buildings closed, they said that the church is closed. But I come to say that the building is closed, not the church. It's the church is out of the building. The church has never been the building. The building is only the place where we gather. It's the place where we come together. I'm going to get more than that. So today's topic, I'm not going to hold you long. Today's topic is you can be in the building, but not in the body. You can be in the building, but not in the body. Yo. Like I was saying before, a lot of people think that the church is actually the building where you go. And I'm going to break it down to you what the building represents. You know, the building is not the church. It's like, you can call the building like the temple. It's like a place where believers and unbelievers, we come to gather, like where we come to worship God in unity. You know, ministry can take place in the building. Miracles can take place in the building. And different things take place in the building, like needs can be met in the building or in the temple. But the ministry and the miracles are not limited just to the building. See, sometimes we think that Sunday is the only time miracles take place, or Sunday is the only time you can do ministry. No. You can do ministry and miracles can take place and breakthroughs can take place outside of the building. Because if you're part of the body of believers, like we carry the power of the Holy Spirit, and when Christ left, he said we would do greater things than he had done. So that means that we can be a part of God's plan of miracles and ministry outside the building. We're not limited just to the building. Too many times we get caught up in thinking that there's only power in the building. You carry the power. I carry the power. If you're a believer, you have power outside the building. It's not just in the building. Too many times we are in our worship, we mistake the building as being the church rather than the people who are the believers. You know, when you read in the scriptures, like Christ was always out in the neighborhood, going house to house or out in the community. He was never confined to just a building. And he was the ultimate example on how ministry and a life of ministry was to be. He was never sitting in a pulpit chair. He was never sitting on the front row. He didn't have an assigned seat. He didn't have a reserved parking spot. My man was out in sandals and a robe, out in the community doing ministry. He was meeting the people where they were. I'm going to say that again. He wasn't waiting for them to come to the building. He was going to meet them where they were. You know, and the word says, you do for the least of these, you do unto me. Like he was going to meet the people where they were to meet their need. He wasn't waiting for the need to come to him. He was waiting to go meet the need where they were. So many times in ministry, you have to remember that I believe that like God places opportunities and moments to where he'll place an individual or a situation in the midst of your life and see how you're going to respond to it. You know, see how you're going to, if you're going to be a blessing to someone, or you're going to be like the Good Samaritan story and just walk past people. You know, I believe that we see opportunities for miracles and ministry to take place every day in our life. A lot of times we ride past these people that have the signs up that are hungry, and we go right past them like it's none of our business. Or we see like someone may be in trouble, or they may have a flat tire, or they may be a little bit short in the grocery store, and you know you got a little bit extra, and if they're $5 short, that $5 is not going to hurt you, and you could be a blessing. We are blessed to be a blessing. So Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Now, I told you the building was not the church. The body of believers is the church. So our job is to sharpen one another, not tear down one another. That is a lot of that is going on right now. Then we wonder why people don't want to come to the building where you worship, or if you want to call it your church. Because someone had mentioned that a lot of times people don't want to come to your building or your church because there's no difference from them being in the world. What's the distinct difference? I get judged and criticized in the world, and I come to your building, I get judged and criticized. What's the difference? I might as well just stay out of your building, because if you're representing God, and God is a God of love and grace and mercy, fruits of the Spirit, and you're supposed to be kind and loving to me, generous to me, gracious to me, then I come into your building and I see the total opposite. It shows me what type of God you represent. We have to be careful as the body of believers that people are watching. You say you represent God like this, or you worship God like this. Are you just a Sunday morning worshiper? Or can we catch you on Monday and catch you still blessing the Lord, oh my soul, and all within me, bless his holy name? Or are you just doing that on Sunday, wearing your Sunday worship costume? Like, we get dressed up, we look all cute, our cars are shiny, and we come to get our seat, and we come to pay our tithes. Or sometimes it's like you're going to be entertained, and you just paid your fee to be entertained. Or are you coming with a mindset, I'm coming to receive a word from God, to refill my soul, to refresh my soul, so I can go back out into the community to impact it? Like Sunday morning worship, or whenever you go and worship in your congregation with your assembly of believers, is not a place where that's just it. Like, you go there to receive a word from God, some encouragement, some uplifting, your spirit renewed, refreshed, so you can go back out into the community Monday through Saturday to refresh, to revive somebody else's soul. It's like a sparkler. On 4th of July is coming up, a sparkler. When you light a sparkler, like, you can light one. But if you used to be a kid, well, you all used to be a kid if you're a little bit older like I am, you could take your sparkler that was lit, and somebody else could touch your sparkler and light their sparkler, and their sparkler can light somebody else's sparkler. So it simply means that the light that you carry could be that light that sets someone else on fire, that might brighten their light. Your smile might brighten their day. Your laughter might brighten their day. A kind word might brighten their day. It's not all about material things. Sometimes just being nice and kind to someone may actually impact their day in ways you can't even imagine. Or like a real innocent hug. Not like you're grouping and all that, trying to get your feeling on, like a real cool hug. Like, hey, praying for you. Nice to see you. It's good to see you. Hey, may the Lord bless you. Hey, I'm praying for you. That's the things as the body of believer we're supposed to do. When you look at this particular passage in Proverbs 27:17, it is simply stating we should be building one another up instead of tearing each other down. We're not supposed to be judge, jury about people's mistake. We're not the judge, we're not the jury about people's mistakes. Because when I last checked, if we were running your life video, I'm sure you have your share of mistakes. And I'm sure you want God to continue to forgive you for your account. So as believers, I think the thing is that we get spiritually amnesia sometimes, not remembering when we used to do this and that. Or we still struggle with this and that. And then we look down at others that are struggling. Like, when you become a believer, it does not mean that the struggle is over. It means the journey has began. Like, it's a journey to begin. Like your journey of sanctification, it's a journey. You're not gonna just be perfect as soon as you accept Christ or as soon as you get right with God. It don't mean your issues and problems just disappear. It means you have an extra teammate to help you deal with it, to help you get through it, to help you accomplish things. It doesn't mean that, Christ said in this life you will have trouble. You're gonna have trouble. You're gonna experience hardship. You're going to go through things. We are not exempt. When you're a believer, you're not exempt. A non-believer, you're not exempt from issues and problems. They're going to happen. But as the body of believers, not the building, it's not your job to grade people. You don't get to look down at someone just because they cussed. Like, you gonna give them an F for today because they cussed? Bro, didn't you do something sinful? So we should give you an F too, right? When I last checked, I'm gonna say this: God is not grading you. He's gracing you. He gives you grace. And he gives you grace to grace other people. Man, you cannot be around here walking around high and mighty with your big cross on your neck, with your holy water, speaking in tongues, and you can't speak to nobody. Like, I have an issue with that. You can run around 17 times, do cartwheels and backflips, but you can't say hi to me. You can't ask me how my day was. You can't, like, give me a kind word. Or if I walk past you, don't even acknowledge me. Like, so many times we come to church like it's a big golf country club, and you meet your clique, and you sit in your section, and someone new comes in, and you can't even get up to introduce yourself. Like, this is their first time to come into your building. This is the building, this is the house of the Lord. Why are they not feeling welcome in the house of the Lord? Because when I last checked, it's not even your house, it's his house. And so if we are guests, we should be welcoming other guests into the Lord's house. We're just a guest. That's his house. So as the church, we have to be mindful about being judgmental and condemning towards others. We're living in a time where, things are tough. Things are hard. People are going through, like, dealing with corona. They're dealing with furloughs, being laid off, not being financially stable. And they're looking for hope. They're looking for hope. Some of them have even doubted God in the midst of this. Like, God, how could you allow this to happen? How could you allow me to get behind on bills? How could you allow my marriage to end? How could you allow me to get laid off? How could you allow my kids to go wayward? God, how could you allow that? And I've come to tell you that it's your faith. Your faith is going to be your key to help you get through. Like, faith is not just fuel for good times and fuel for when he's blessing you and doing the great things. Your faith needs to be your fuel to get you through tough times. Because you're going to go through some tough seasons, and it's going to take your faith to get you through. And it's going to take some faith-filled friends. It's not in the notes. Faith-filled friends. Connect to some faith-filled friends. They will fill you. Iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Connect to faith-filled friends. Don't connect to fake-filled friends. Say that again. There's a difference between faith-filled friends and fake-filled friends. Connect to faith-filled friends. Fake friends are be with you when you're high, and with you when everything are good, and with you when everything is perfect. Faith-filled friends are going to be with you when it's good, going to be with you when it's perfect. They're going to be with you when you fall. They're going to be with you when you can't crawl. They're going to be with you when you can't run or you can't walk. They're going to be with you when you don't want to pray that day or read any scripture. They're going to still stand there with you and build you up. That's the faith-filled friends. And as a body of believers, we're supposed to be faith-filled. And that fuel, we're supposed to transfer it and dispense it to other people. Man, people are living in fear. It may be your faith that helps them overcome their fears. It may be your faith that ignites their faith. They may be like, oh man, look at Key, man. Like, I know he didn't been through the motion, Hurricane Katrina, and my man's still standing. He is really still blessing the Lord at all times, and his praise should continually be in his mouth. When he has every right to throw in the towel and be discouraged and depressed and all that. No, man, life is too short. When you realize that your mistakes don't define you, your mistakes don't define you, Your choices in life have consequences to them, but you can bounce back, get back up, brush yourself off, and keep it moving. Think about this. You cannot give up because you have an assignment for your life. And no matter what circumstance or situation you find in, it does not change the call. I'm going to say that again. We all have been called to a specific purpose, a specific assignment. And your situation or your circumstance does not cancel the call. You have been created for a purpose. God is Alpha and Omega. He knows the beginning and the end. It's not a mistake of where you are. He knows exactly where you are, and he knows exactly where he's trying to take you. But he's trying to see if you would trust him and choose your faith over fear. Faith over fear. So I want to encourage you guys. I hope you guys have been blessed by this video, that you can be in the building but not in the body. And like, God is not calling us just to be building saints. He's calling us to be in the body saints, meaning go out and affect the community. Go out and be a light. Go out and be salt. Like, go out and represent, or as Pastor Mike Todd would say, represent. We have to be public billboards for God's love and his grace. And it is not our job to grade people, because God is not grading you, man. Like, let me free you up. When you make a mistake, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. When you accept Christ and you're in the family of God, like, you are covered by grace. Doesn't mean just go wilding out. It just means that there's no condemnation, meaning don't beat yourself over a mistake you may have made. You may have fallen. You may have fallen short. It's okay. Brush yourself off. God is not giving you an F for today. He's not giving you a C. He's giving you a G. He's giving you grace. So walk in your grace. Walk in your freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom and liberty. Walk in your freedom. It's okay. God knows. He still loves you. The good news is he still loves you. So, my fellow body of believers, hey, let's affect the community. Let's not get stuck on the building, because the church is not closed. The building is closed, and the church has left the building. Let's go. Hope you guys have been blessed. Once again, like and subscribe to this channel, man. Share it. Hopefully it's been a blessing. But you can be in the building, but not in the body. So until next time, I'll see you guys on another edition of Key Moments. Take it easy and be blessed and be positive.